Hello everybody, Joe here and happy Thursday. And today's video is a Thoughtful Thursday, which is a collab hosted by my sweet friend Joy at Organized with Joy. If there's a playlist, I'll have it linked in my description box below. And I'll also have Joy's channel linked in my description box below. So I live with chronic illness and chronic pain, and I live minimally to make life easier for myself. Last year I moved south and basically got 2 large suitcases. I had, carry on and a personal item, and everything I had to own had to fit in those things. And then I got, a bed and a mattress and bedding and nightstands and lamps and stuff after I got to where I moved. And I've decluttered stuff since. I've accumulated stuff since, like the TV and the TV stand, DVD player, those sort of things. Because as someone with chronic illness and chronic pain and not having a lot of stamina, I do have a lot of screen time, as it's called. But during that move, I basically packed the necessities, like the most important things I packed in those suitcases last year, and I moved those things. But there was a box of stuff that the stuff was either sentimental or it was stuff I wasn't going to need for a while, but I wasn't ready to let go of. I wanted to keep. And that box was held on to for me. The other thing that was held on to were my sword and sword cane, and those are still being held on to for me. I've not been able to get those yet, but hopefully but the person I have has the space to store them. But with the box of sentimental items and things, it's really bothered me that I haven't had all my stuff in one spot. Due to difficult life circumstances in my past, I have been in this situation before where not everything I owned was in the same place. So I would encourage you, if you don't have, if you live in, whether you rent a room or whether you live in an apartment or a house, I would highly encourage you to make sure that everything you own fits in the space that you live in. Whether that's a room, a house, or an apartment, condo, whatever it is, tiny home, that everything you own fits in the space that you live in, on the property that you live in, and you don't have stuff spread out. One, because personally I don't like doing it unless it's like absolutely needed, because it's not fair to others to have to store their stuff as well as yours. I'm very fortunate that I've had people in my life willing to do that for me when the time arose. And also, like I said, since that stuff has not been in my possession, I've decluttered stuff, I've accumulated things. I mean, still living minimally, of course. As like Dana K. White and Cass from COLLAB would say, it's in like the Minimal Mom and like those 3 famous YouTubers, it's the container concept. Like you only own what can fit in your space. So as I've decluttered, as I've got things, I make sure that everything can fit in my space without being packed, cramped. Like this room, this space, even with all that stuff, even with the stuff there. Now, I was very fortunate that earlier this year, when I traveled for a special event, I was able to go through my box of sentimental things, my box of things that I was holding on to, and I did declutter and get rid of some things. And I'm really glad I did that, because I personally had thought I had pared down my sentimental stuff and that kind of stuff as far as it could go. But there's just some things just are no longer sentimental anymore. And then when I bought the box of stuff, I checked a large suitcase when I traveled recently, and was able to fit everything that in that box in the large suitcase. Well, I guess some people would consider it like a medium-sized suitcase. To me, it's a large suitcase. So, because I have a larger suitcase because of the 2 suitcases I used to move last year, and so I have a larger suitcase. So because it's larger, I would consider this more of a medium-sized suitcase. But everything I owned fit into it. And not only that, but I got like some winter pants and a winter coat were purchased for me, got for me while I was traveling, because I didn't have those. And where I live, the weather does get cold sometimes, hence why I'm in my robe. And so I was able to fit those things and my dirty laundry and my sentimental items. Of course, the dirty laundry was in the laundry bag. Don't be grossed out. It was in the laundry bag. Don't worry. And it all fit in the suitcase. It was well under the weight limit, and I was able to bring those things home. That's why I have my sentimental nutcracker back there, that black hat. Yeah, he's one of my sentimental things. I have him decorated for Christmas. And all the stuff I bought back, if you've seen my videos, you know that I have 4 black totes that I keep in my closet. And so one's a sentimental tote, one is a Christmas tote, one is a Halloween and don't access only like maybe a couple times a year tote, and then the other one is paperwork. And I specifically got the totes that size so that when I brought that sentimental bin and that stuff home, it would all fit. And I'm really happy that I estimated and eyeballed it correctly. That's a huge relief. And like I said, it feels really good to have all my stuff back. And I have grown emotionally because one of the things that was in that sentimental box was a box of old, like, family photos. And then the entire time I've had that box of family photos, for reasons I cannot go into online, I have not wanted to look through that box of photos. And before I packed it into the suitcase, I finally went through that box. I did not get rid of any photos. I just, in that moment, there weren't any photos I clearly wanted to get rid of. I clearly wanted to let go. Yeah, because that box of photos was already curated for me. So there weren't any, like, photos of, like, just land or any blurry photos. I mean, it's a very curated box of photos that I've been given. And so at some point I will need to go through and organize all those photos and take a closer look and see if there are any that I would like to get rid of. But all this story to say, with everything you own, be honest with yourself. I mean, truly honest with yourself. Don't get rid of things before you're ready. And keep items contained to the space you live in, if at all possible. Like, for me, I could have, probably got like a third suitcase or something and bought all that stuff south last year. But for me, it was a financial decision. Financially, I just couldn't do it. So there are some circumstances where, and it's kind of one of the reasons why it's taken me so long to bring that box of stuff to where I live, is for those reasons. So I just want to encourage you to, like I said, truly be honest with yourself. Be ruthless with your belongings if you need to. Because of how much in life I tend to move for one reason or the other, I tend to look at things more practically. And like I said, if at all possible. And I swear, I've lived in many situations, many situations, so many different living situations. And when I'm being honest with myself about my stuff, then everything I own fits in whatever living situation I'm in. Because before I went minimal, not everything I owned did not fit in whatever living situation I was in. I had stuff spread out, people holding stuff for me, and every time I moved, it was always way more work. Because I was neat and organized and tidy, I didn't realize how much stuff I had. And it was always just this overwhelming thing. But since going minimal, do I still get overwhelmed? Yes. You know, my bandwidth changes depending on how my body's doing. But since then, I mean, except for this past year where life looked a little different, everything I own has been able to fit into the space I live, and I haven't had anything stored anywhere else. So this is an encouragement to you as we hit the Christmas season, the holiday season, because it's coming up fast, to enjoy the holidays, to enjoy gift giving, to enjoy receiving gifts. But in the end, to be honest with yourself as you're making room for the things you receive. And having them all fit in your space. So I hope you enjoyed my thoughts. I hope this makes sense to you. And I will see you in my next one. Loves. Bye. And don't forget to check out the playlist and Joy's channel, which will be linked in my description box. Loves. Bye.